I wanted to hit a few macro statistics and trends that have not been touched on. Talk a little bit about phases of luxury, which American Express has defined in a lot of the research that they've done with the Harrison Group. Give you a little snapshot of my 21 years in founding the Luxury Marketing Council after I left Bergdorf Goodman and ran the catalog and marketing function. And then talk about, very specifically, best marketing practices. What are some of the smartest luxury brands across all industry segments doing to win greater loyalty, spend, and referral of the very best customers? And a little snapshot of the survey that we recently did with about 10,000 C-suite folks across every segment of luxury for all of North America, to give you some sense of how brands, the most successful brands, are listening. What specifically, from a best marketing practices standpoint, are they doing? One, to better listen to and hear what their best customers have to say, and two, what are they doing to better listen and treat more like partners their top salespeople and the people on the line that meet the best customers. So here's a couple of the macro trends that I think you might find interesting. McKinsey predicts that the luxury arena worldwide, the very top of the brands, will win revenues globally between 1.5 trillion now, which is going to grow to $3 trillion in 2020. In the world, if you haven't seen the Capgemini survey on global wealth, we have a website which will get you access to Capgemini survey on global wealth, Bain survey on luxury, McKinsey survey on luxury, and Boston Consulting Group's survey on luxury. They're all available, and they have tremendous data on the best customer and some of the best marketing practices. Globally, there are now 12.7 million people with investable assets, investable, liquid, after the houses, the horses, the yachts, the cars, of $1 million and up. North America, 3.7 million. So as a marketer, you could almost pick up the phone and talk to these people. It's a very narrow market. And after 2007, what the media dubbed the aspirational buyer has really disappeared. So for luxury brands, accessing, inspiring, getting greater spend of this 3.7 million people in North America, almost one-to-one, has been the major focus of luxury brands since 2007. The other major trend, which number I didn't hear used, which we've talked a lot about, has been boomers versus millennials. 80 million boomers in the US, 86 million millennials. The research shows now that a third of them are gainfully employed, a third of them went back to school if they could afford it to try and ride out the recession, and a third of them are going to be the most viable community of entrepreneurs that we have seen. And that community of young entrepreneurs have been born to the manor, meaning they understand luxury, their parents educated them about the best products and services, and they are going to be the makers and shakers and the buyers of luxury products and services. The last statistic that I find really interesting, especially in the US, is that the boomers, if you look at big money in North America, only 10% of the big money in the US is either inherited or celebrity, whether it be celebrity from entertainment, from film, from sports. And of that 10%, only 4% is inherited. The big money in America is 90% is working class boomers who have bootstrapped themselves up through corporate positions, liquidity events, become serial entrepreneurs, not having been born to the manor, have not been educated on what is the best of the best. So for 20 years, I call CEOs at the beginning of every year and I say, what keeps you awake at night? They say two things: educating, motivating, succession planning for, compensating the best and the brightest, and then educating the best customer about the price-value equation. So this 90% of highly affluent boomer community has been spending so much time on the advancement of their careers that they have not had sufficient time to understand the best of the best. And if you say that the aspirational buyer is gone, and the charge of luxury brands is to win greater share of the richest people, one of the biggest strategies that I have seen among luxury brands is educating that best customer about why great things are worth the price. So those are some of the macro trends. American Express has 4 stages of luxury, and the only one I think that has any significance for us today is the 4th stage. And you can get information on this online through the Harrison Group. Acquisitive, bigger the brand, the more you can boast about it, the better. Inquisitive, starting to want to understand the price-value equation. Authoritative, starting to really dictate to authorities how they should buy. But America, Europe, and China is moving in this direction very quickly, are in what they call the meditative stage, which means it's not about stuff. It is totally about the experience, the story, the level of service. It is multi-generational. And some of the words that I saw in some of the slides were bucket list, self-discovery, in the know about what is the best of the best, experience, and heritage. So this community no longer is interested in stuff, brag, or boast. It's not about conspicuous consumption. It's about value. And if you look at some of the words that you hear when you talk to the boomers who have made it, what do they say? Bespoke, personalization, customization, heritage, the ability to interact personally. They don't want to be pushed from a media standpoint. They want to be pulled in and engaged. So it's a very different audience than what we are historically experiencing. I think everybody dealt pretty thoroughly with the millennials. Short history of the Luxury Marketing Council. After leaving Bergdorf Goodman, where I ran the catalog business, I started the council in '95. And what I saw was that all of the luxury segments were all in vertical silos. Automotive, jewelry, retail, travel, at the senior level, and none of them were talking one to the other. What I realized was that there was an absolute void in the luxury arena where brands at the CEO, CMO level could go horizontally, meet together, see where they share similar issues, exchange best practices. And I saw this very clearly. So in '95, I started the council, and the premise was, 1, get luxury brands richer by working together, because all of the brands, if you look at their customer base, have 60% of the same customers. No surprise to anybody here, but it's not the same 60%. And when I started in '95, and if you had 100 people in the room, and you said, how many brands have collaborated or partnered, done a database exchange, worked collaboratively with kindred spirit luxury brands, you might see 5 hands go up. Now, in a room of 100, you'd see 85. So the whole notion of collaborations and partnerships to reach that best customer, that 3.7 million in North America with liquid of 1 million or more, is pretty much common practice now. So if your business is not doing it, and the brands at the dealership level are not doing it, you're missing a bet. So the council, I started with 32 companies, and now globally, Luxury Marketing Council is in 57 cities, 1,000 brands, and about 6,000 CEOs and CMOs. In New York, we have about 320 companies that are members, about 2,000 CEOs. We do 56 events a year, and it's all like this: exchange of best practices, connecting CMO to CMO to CEO, inspiring people to collaborate and partner to surprise and delight that best customer.